Mr. Holtman, how are you?
Good, how are
Good,
you?
Mike. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, looks like we're streaming here. Chuck, is okay if I read the meeting intro?
Sure.
All right, the format of this meeting consists of planning commission members, applicants, butters, and city staff attending a live online Zoom meeting and the public viewing the meeting on the city's YouTube channel. For those attending the Zoom meeting, please only speak when the chair indicates it's time to do so. In addition, as usual, prior to addressing the commission, please state your name, address, and affirm you'll tell the truth. Public viewers on YouTube have the ability to type in comments with a Google account. If you're entering a comment on YouTube, please first indicate your name and address. Comments can be entered at any time, but were relayed to the commission when the chair indicates it's time to do so. Please also note multiple comments can be entered, but each comment is limited to 200 characters. If you're having difficulty commenting, comments can be emailed to me at a.dutton@worcesteroh.com. Finally, please be aware that there's approximate 15-second delay between the Zoom meeting and the live stream on YouTube. That's all I have for now, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Armbruster to begin the meeting.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, my opening statement is that this is the regular scheduled March 2021 meeting of the City of Worcester Planning Commission. This is a volunteer commission of Worcester citizens established to hear planning matters as specified in the City of Worcester's Planning and Zoning Code. My name is Chuck Armbruster, and I'm the chair of the Planning Commission. Because these hearings are a matter of legal record, this meeting is recorded. We ask that if and when you speak loudly and clearly. We also ask that prior to speaking, each speaker give their name and address and affirm to tell the truth. The application to be considered tonight are application numbers PC-21-05, PC-21-06, PC-21-08, PC-21-09, and also PC-21-10. Following tonight's meeting, the applicant in each case will receive notification of the commission's decision regarding their application. And with that, I wanted to thank everyone for adjusting your schedules for tonight's meeting, and we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First item of business is a roll call. So to confirm your presence, Kyle Adams, please.
I'm here.
Sheree Bronson.
Here.
Grant Mason.
Here.
Mike Steiner.
Here.
And Mark Weaver.
Here.
Great. The next item of business is the approval of the February 4th, 2021 meeting minutes. Are there any errors or omissions on what was presented, please?
I move to approve as submitted. This is Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, that was Kyle.
Yep.
Okay, great. Any discussion, please? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The first application this evening is PC 21-05. John Long is requesting an approval recommendation from the Planning Commission to the City Council for a zoning map amendment to change the zoning of 8 properties composed of 1.113 acres on the south side of West Henry Street, west of South Grant Street, from RT, traditional residential, to I2, general industrial. John, are you there this evening to address the application, please?
John Long is not here. This is Mike Bogner,
Okay.
representing Bogner Construction, 305 West Mulberry Street, and I affirm to tell the truth.
Great, thank you. Would you just like to highlight, obviously we have the data in front of us, but if there's any overview you'd like to share, we'll proceed with that, please.
Sure. I trust everyone's read the project description that I typed on the application. Basically, it's surrounded on 3 sides by I2. We're just looking to get some zoning change because if it ever gets developed, it'll be on that side. And It certainly will not be developed as residential, but we are leaving a little over 200 feet buffer to the nearest residential houses. So there is possible in the future, if anyone wants to build on those lots, it's not likely, but either way, we're leaving a buffer there. And we're hoping to tear down a rundown house to beautify the area. Once again, we tore quite a few houses down last summer, 2 summers ago, to help the area. So we're just going back to this committee to try and get the zoning changed on this little parcel.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the Planning Commission members for Mike, please? Okay, hearing none, this is worthy of a public hearing, so let's go ahead and open that up, please. So any comments that you have on your end, Andrew?
Not this time, but I'll note on YouTube that the public hearing is now open.
Okay, we'll pause for that. Any public comments at all, please? Andrew, anything on your end?
I don't appear to be getting any comments for the application.
Okay. We'll pause just for another 20 seconds or so, and then we'll close the public hearing. Okay, hearing no public comments, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Andrew, any other comments you'd like to make towards this application, please?
No, I have no additional comments.
Okay, and finally, any other questions or comments that the commission members may have this evening, please? If not, may I have a motion, please?
Yeah, Chuck, I'll come forward with a motion. Mike Steiner here. I make a motion that the Planning Commission recommend to City Council a zoning map amendment to change the zoning of 8 properties composed of 1.113 acres on the south side of West Henry Street, west of South Grant Street, from R-2T, traditional residential, to 1-2 general industrial.
Thank you, Mike. Is there a second, please?
I'll second that.
Okay, Grant? Any further discussion? Okay, we'll go by roll call. Kyle?
Vote yes.
Sheree?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Mark?
Since the request meets our review criteria, I vote yes.
And I vote yes as well. So application passes 6-6. Continuing on then for application PC-21-06. That says John Long is requesting an application or an approval recommendation rather from the Planning Commission to City Council for a zoning map amendment to change the zoning of part of property of east side of Old Airport Road with parcel number 67-01151.000 from an I-1 office limited industrial to an I-2 general industrial zoning. And this will also include a public hearing. So Mike, would you like to again just overview this application for us, please?
I believe Ted Bogner is going to speak on this application.
All right.
Very well. Thank you, Ted.
My name is Ted Bogner. I'm a resident of Worcester, Ohio, and I affirm to tell the truth. This is for the east side of Old Airport Road only. It is now going to be bordered by Daisy Way, and it has the general zoning I-2 on all three sides of it. So that's why we are coming to Planning Commission to change the zoning to the I-2 zoning in that particular parcel. And then I was listening to the meeting just prior to this. It'd be a perfect place for 198,000 square foot warehouse, expandable with 40 to 50,000 or another 40 to 50,000 square feet with space for 50 trucks. So it seems like it would be the perfect thing. And I think this would be great for the city.
Thank you, Ted. Planning Commission members, are there any questions that you have of Ted, please? Hearing none, let's go ahead and open up the public hearing portion of our meeting. So we'll open that up for any other comments, again, outside the commission, please. I hear a high-pitched whining on my end. Does anybody else hear that on your end as well? Not sure what the source of that is, but any public comments on PC-21-06 this evening?
I have not received any public comments.
Okay. We'll do the courtesy 20-second delay again and go from there. Okay, last call for any public comments on this application, please. Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Andrew, any additional comments you have that you'd like to share with the Planning Commission before we vote, please?
I have no further comments.
Okay. Planning Commission members, any questions or comments that you have before we vote? If not, may I have a motion to do so, please?
Chuck, I'll move to approve PC-21-06 and have a recommendation to City Council for a zoning map amendment to change the zoning of property on east side of Old Airport Road with parcel number 67-01151.000 from I-1 to I-2.
Thank you, Kyle. May I have a second?
Chuck, I'll second. This is Mike.
Mike, thank you. Any discussion before we vote? If not, we'll go by roll call. Kyle?
Vote yes.
Cherie?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Mark?
Again, finding that this meets our review criteria, I vote yes.
And I vote yes as well, so passes 6-6. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
The next application this evening, as you can see, is PC-21-08. It reads, Robert Popoto requesting the preliminary development plan approval for a phased commercial development at the northeast corner of Burbank Road and Smithville Western Road with parcel number 67-02990.000 in a C3 general commercial district. Robert, is there an overview that you'd like to share with the commission this evening, please?
Certainly there is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, my name is Robert Papato. I'm with CESO. The address is 175 Montrose West Avenue, located in Akron, 44321, and I do affirm to tell the truth. So real quick history. Back in 2019, May of 2019, we were granted preliminary development plan approval by Planning and Zoning Commission for a site plan on this property. Redstone Development, and John Schwartz is also present from Redstone. It was in final negotiations with tenants at the time. We've had at the time had some discussions with the city regarding the main drive on Burbank Road. Then as we were working on that and negotiating with tenants, that pandemic thing hit, and still working on that with a lot of uncertainty. Redstone was still committed to the project, and in May of 2020 last year, we applied for and were granted a one-year extension on the preliminary development plan approval, which at the time seemed like quite a long time. And here we are in March of 2021. And good thing is we do have commitments from tenants, and we have also, with discussions with the city and with ODOT, and we will be installing a roundabout at the main drive to fit with the traffic patterns on Burbank Road and in the area. So again, discussions with the city, the best thought going forward was to submit a new preliminary development plan because of the roundabout inclusion. You can take a look at the site plan. It's basically the same. We have Menards and Meyer as the main tenants. The site plans have changed a little bit at the fueling station C-store. Especially, we had to adjust that for the location of the roundabout, but basically we're the same number of entrances off of Burbank and off of the one entrance off Smithville Western Road. So planning commission or site plan wise, that's essentially what we're looking for. So the rest of the information in the plan or in the packet, we've included some signage, updated elevations of the buildings, lighting plan, landscape plan for the Meyer parcel. Again, most of those are not needed with the preliminary development plan, but are included as information just to give you a little bit better feel and to get some feedback from the planning commission and the city that when we submit for final development plans, or when the final development plans are submitted, that we'll be able to address those things and be able to move a little bit more quickly. So, and again, as was noted, this will be a phased development. So the Redstone's responsibility will be to do grading, infrastructure improvements, the roadway improvements, bring utilities up to the site, and then the Meyer and Menard sites will be developed independently after all those improvements are done. Utility-wise, the sanitary sewer is going to be coming through the back of the Grace Church property on the east side of the Grace Church property and coming across Smithville Western Road to the site. And then water will be brought up Burbank Road, extended up Burbank Road, public main extension up into the site also. And then stormwater, there you can see the stormwater management areas we have that will address stormwater. So I think that is about it. As far as a real quick presentation on what we're doing. The next item on the agenda is the lot split to the subdivision, final subdivision plat to create the parcels for each of these. So you can kind of see that on here too, the parcel A, B, C, D, E, and then also the public right of way. So we'll discuss that at the next agenda item. So with that, any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Robert. Commission members, anything for Robert, please?
I have one question. Are you familiar with the conditions that the planning staff has recommended? And do you have any difficulty, do you anticipate any difficulty meeting those conditions?
Thank you. Yes, we are familiar with the conditions that were outlined in the staff report, and I believe they're the same conditions that were with the preliminary one, and I don't believe we'll have any issues complying.
Thank you.
Andrew, this is Chuck. I had one question. I think it's morally directed to you than Robert, so let's at least start there. And that is, again, as we just discussed, there's a few things that will need to be tweaked before final approval, assuming things pass here this evening. The one question, so things like parking and signage and so forth, obviously need to coincide with the city directives. The question that I am less sure about is the discussion about buffering. What I thought I read was that, yeah, we might need to consider something sometime, but I don't know if that means now or later or future developments or those type of things. So Andrew, kind of take me by the hand on what we need to consider that way this evening, if anything.
Yeah, at this stage, we're in the preliminary development plan. It's really just looking for things like general building layout, parking layout, access points, traffic flow, things of that nature. Anything general architecture, anything provided in addition is kind of just extra for you to consider. So at this time, it doesn't need to show the specific landscaping buffers. It is a little bit of an odd situation with unzoned county properties on two sides. That's something we're going to need to consider when the final development plans come in, which I would assume would be separate. There'd probably be one for Menards, one for Meyer, and so forth. So that's really something to just consider down the road. I did note in the staff report that I go into more detail than would typically be required for a preliminary development plan.
Right. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Andrew, this is Mike. I've got another question. It looks like there was a request being made here that we approve the preliminary development plan for a period of 2 years. That was in a separate document. Are we even able to do that?
Yeah, the code basically says when you approve a preliminary development plan, the applicant has 1 year to submit a final development plan in any part of that phase, unless the commission extends it or has a different amount of time. So it's actually directly in the code that you have the ability to extend that.
Because that is one of your conditions, right, in the current recommendations.
Yeah, and that was a requested time period was the 24 months, was the 2 years. Yeah.
Andrew, how many times can that be extended? So you have a preliminary plan and then a year goes by, you extend it 1 year, and then can it be extended again, or do you have to bring another preliminary plan like this one in order for it to be approved again?
So if it's approved as submitted, they would have 2 years to file a final development plan for any part of this development. And as long as they were within that, then the preliminary plan remains valid. They can request as many extensions as they want, and you can grant as many as you want. It's really at your discretion.
Okay.
Obviously, in this case, we had COVID and other factors thrown in there. So, and they also did a little bit of a redesign of the site with configuring the roundabout. So we thought it best just to come back with a new preliminary plan for your review.
Commission members, any other questions or comments, please, either for Robert or Andrew? If not, may I have a motion, please?
Chuck, this is Mike. I'll make the motion to approve the preliminary development plan of a phased development, commercial development at the northeast corner of Burbank Road and Smithfield Western with parcel number 67-02990.000 in a C3 commercial general commercial district, subject to all the conditions that are stated in this document as part of the staff's recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
This is Mark. I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll do the roll call. Kyle,
Yes.
Sheree,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Mark,
Finding that this meets our review criteria, I vote yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 6-6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Board.
So Robbie, you're still on the hook for PC 21-09, which is, so we're requesting a final subdivision plat approval to create 5 lots at the corner of Burbank Road and Smithville Western Road with parcel number 67-02990.000 in a C3 general commercial district. So you've already opened, the suggestion of this, but any other overview that you would like to share with us, Robert? Now's the time.
Yeah, nothing really. This one's a little bit more straightforward. All of the lots have frontage on a public roadway, either Burbank Road or Smithville Western. And the right of way, the property on Burbank Road currently goes out to Centerline. So we will be dedicating property back to the city. And then you can see it kind of goes around where the roundabout would go. So additional right of way was included there coming out of the property. So beyond that, really, no further comments.
So Robert, this is Chuck. I just had one clarification, please. So obviously, as this is divided up into 5 different plots, I assume it would be more easily to develop them independently by whoever owns the land at that point. So I assume that they'll be developed in a phased manner relative to those lot owners then, is that correct?
That is correct. And with, perhaps John could speak to this a little bit more, but there are agreements and easements between the various parcels and tenants that, as for cross drives and utility sharing and all those things. So it would be, the intent is to submit for each, for Menards, Meyer, the other lots to submit their final development plans independently, and then they would be doing their construction plans independently and submitting those as well.
So again, it feels like Menards and Myers would lead the way, and the intent for lots D and E are less assured, and therefore would likely follow the first 3. Is that correct?
That's most likely correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Then Andrew, one clarification for you, and that is in the write-up, there was some discussion about the Planning Commission reviewing this application because of a flag and Burbank right-of-way. So I understand the Burbank right-of-way piece. I didn't see a particular flag on the print. So tell me about what that means, or what should I infer from that, please?
Yeah, so typically a subdivision of 5 lots or less is administratively reviewed. In this case, there are 2 factors which brought it to you. One was the dedication of the right-of-way, mostly for the roundabout. And the second was the presence of a flag lot, which is Lot E, the retail building lot. So it just has that
Shape.
Yeah, 48-foot kind of pole part of the flag, and then the larger part is the flag part of the flag lot.
Got it.
In the back, so that configuration requires Planning Commission approval. Typically, there's more of an issue this with residential lots. We see pretty commonly in commercial properties.
Right. Okay. Very good. Other questions or comments for either Andrew or Robert, please? If not, may I hear a motion, please?
Chuck, it looks like it must be my day for motions here. So We'll keep
You're
it
going strong.
rolling.
Go ahead.
Like to move for approval of the final subdivision plat to create 5 lots at the corner of Burbank Road and Smithville Western with parcel number 67-029990.000 in a C3 general commercial district. This is PC 21-09.
Great, thank you. And a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Grant, thank you. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll go down the list. Kyle,
Yes.
Sheree,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Mark,
Finding that this meets our criteria for approval, yes.
and you have a yes from me as well. Thanks very much, Robert.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Dutton, members of the board. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
The last application this evening, as you can see, is PC-21-10. Jacob Holdman requesting preliminary development plan approval for a warehouse for properties bound by Noble Drive, Benton Drive, and North Giles Chapel Road with parcel number 67-02982.000 and 67-02982.001 in an I-1 Office Limited Industrial Zoning District. Jacob, are you with us this evening? And if so, would you like to provide an overview of the application, please?
Yes, I am, Chuck. Thanks for kicking things off. Andrew, I'm going to defer to you a little bit. Just for a background for the commission, we came in with 2 variances in the meeting at 6:30 that were both denied. That makes this site not feasible for what we're trying to build there. But that being said, I still wanted to have a conversation with the commission because we're going to be looking for support to pivot to a different site within the city that may not suffer from some of the challenges of the neighboring uses. And just wanted to have a conversation about our development plan and kind of hash out some of maybe the high level concerns that the commission may have, that when we come in with a final development plan on a more appropriately zoned and located site, that we're able to present something that hopefully is able to be approved, quickly.
Just procedurally, Jacob, and I appreciate the comments there. So is the intent to withdraw this application and then just have kind of a discussion without a vote or anything like that?
I believe so. Tim, you concur?
Yes, Andrew, that's correct. So basically, we'd like to formally withdraw our application on this site, but we thought it'd still be beneficial to just give them an overview of the site plan, the building renderings, and what we're trying to achieve, and ask for support of staff, Economic Development Commission to pivot this project to a new site in the community that's a better fit for the surrounding uses.
So towards that end, again, we do have the drawings in the submittal, but again, let's give you some airtime to overview anything you would like for us to hear. So you have the floor.
Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, so, hopefully everyone was able to glance through the package we put together that shows, a good high level overview of the project. We're an industrial developer that builds buildings across the country for a multitude of different clients. And we've been engaged with a client for the Worcester area to build a 198,000 square foot warehouse facility that would be used for light warehousing and distribution. We previously had identified this site. However, the variances we went into ultimately were denied just based on the position of the site, the zoning being I-1, and the neighboring uses that we were up against. That being said, this project I think would be great for the community. We're looking at 50 net new jobs being added to the community. It's supporting a manufacturer that's already located there. So it's a very, strategic, and ultimately we think it'd be great for the community, but wanted to kind of chat through the site plan, look through some of the renderings and kind of get some feedback from the commission on any high level concerns that you guys may have so that we can try to incorporate those as we start to pivot to a different site within the city that's, better suited from both a zoning and neighbor and use perspective. So Andrew, maybe just starting with the very basic site plan. So this is the facility that we're proposing. So it's 198,000 square foot precast concrete facility with docks on one side and some trailer parking. That was one of the variances that we went in for. We're seeing across the country, we're building 50 to 60 buildings this year. From a logistics user's perspective, having that outdoor trailer parking is just critical to operation. It's continued to increase as more sophisticated logistics companies such as Amazon and FedEx are, kind of driving the way that everybody's looking at, distribution networks and, timing to get their product to different areas across, the country. So if you want to maybe peruse through some of the renderings, just so we can kind of get the commission comfortable with what we're building aesthetically. So, this is a proposed rendering. This is on the site that, we're going to be withdrawing our application from, but ultimately shows, a high quality building, adequate landscaping, precast, nice glass around office areas. And so, we're just looking to, get your guys' support and commentary across the board to see if there's any, high level issues or things that we should be considering when we come in for a final development plan, like I said, on a more appropriately zoned site.
This is Chuck. I thought the drawings were well done and it's easy to understand and so forth. So the only question I have is, when I see the term of outdoor storage or bulk storage in a parking lot, I don't really know how to interpret that. I mean, I certainly understand trailer parking, but when I hear bulk storage, I mean, that could be 1,000 different things. So is that code for anything or what's help me to decipher that, please?
Yeah, Chuck, no problem. So, we consider trailer parking when we're looking at it, and that's what it would be used for. The outdoor storage, bulk storage commentary and language that was used, I had that in there just based on the Worcester zoning code and the variance that we were going up for, that kind of defined that trailer parking as quote unquote outdoor storage and bulk storage area.
Okay.
But we would be using it solely for, our client would be using it solely for trailer parking.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, just to echo what Jacob said, it's really just our terminology used in our zoning code is why it's phrased like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Commission members, are there any other questions or concerns that you may have?
And just to jump in from a city's perspective, we're very supportive of the project as a whole. We realize it's definitely a need for area businesses or regional businesses, and will be a great benefit to our community. I mean, you see the rendering is about as nice as a warehouse is going to look. It was just, we didn't feel in the right location, and our economic development division is working with the applicant to find a suitable site.
And again, just to echo in, just to make sure this is clear as well, the commission, in addition to the application, received 4 different documents, mostly from neighboring folks. John Keaton and Chad Knupp provided documentation on March the 2nd. Carly Siebel provided a letter March the 3rd. And then today we received these warehouse images. So just to let the record reflect that we did receive those other documents as well as the application itself.
And this is Mark, just speaking as one member of the commission. My primary issues from the beginning were with this particular location and with issues of traffic. And I just think that those are the 2 things that I would encourage you to be very much aware of as you look at alternative sites. But the project itself, I don't see anything fundamentally objective.
Thanks, Mark.
Any other comments for Jacob, please? Jacob, anything else for us?
No, I don't think so. I appreciate your guys' time. I think it may have been our fault that we ran so late here, but we look forward to working with everybody. We've had a great experience thus far, and we're looking to move really quick on this one. So there's a good chance we're going to be talking pretty soon with final development plans, hopefully on another site in the city.
Sounds great. We look forward to it. Andrew, that's all that we had on the agenda this evening. Do you have anything else for the go of the order?
No, I just want to thank everyone, all the commissioners, the applicants, and folks watching on YouTube for hanging around. Meeting ran a little late before us, and I apologize for that, but this is the kind of format we have now, and just thanks again.
So with that, I need a motion to adjourn, please. May I have that from someone?
I'll move to adjourn.
And this is Kyle.
Yep.
Okay, and a second.
This is Mark. I'll second.
Great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes again. So our next regular scheduled meeting will actually be on April Fool's Day of first day of April. So until then, we'll talk to you then. Thanks very much, folks.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.